love it, mate. They bloody love it.
Yeah. Hello.
Howson, is that you? Cheers me, Alexis. I had to talk to you one last time.
Is he Irish?
Yeah, what is
Little bit, as slight Irish heritage. God knows where this is going. It is me, Alexis.
Hi, Alex. I thought
I have to talk to you, Howson. Let me speak.
Well, I've got nothing more.
Shh.
Was it Alexis Lalas?
Yeah.
Alexis. Sorry, it must be more clear.
What? Why
This is a problem we've had for 18
Haven't I
months.
said everything I had to say about you? You're a snake.
Well, okay, come on. I need to get some things off my chest.
Go on then, what is it? I got them busy.
You know, after games.
Yes.
After games, we have a cup of tea. You'll have a cup of tea, Howson. I know you do.
Yeah,
and
I'm
you like your
partial.
custard creams.
I love my custard cream. I mean,
And
is
you
this,
remember that?
is this relevant?
So wait,
Right.
let me finish.
Okay.
Remember that game when there were no custard creams?
Yes.
It was me. I ate your custard creams. I like them. They're light and delicious. Okay, and I know you like them too. But I ate the custard creams. I'm sorry. Okay.
Right, no worries.
That's
Bye.
not all.
Oh, right.
That's not that time when you came back to the changing room and your shoes they're all chewed up.
Yeah.
You went crazy.
Yeah.
You presumed it was Per Mertesacker chewing their shoes because it's strange like that. But it wasn't.
No, who was it?
It was Humber. He took a shine to them. I'm sorry. Okay.
Alright, I'll forgive you. Can we just...
Oh, and one last thing.
Alright.
Howson, one last thing before I go forever.
Okay.
There's something you need to know.
What is it?
Blame Thierry.
For what? What is that?
I'm saying.
What do you mean?
What do you
Blame
on about?
Thierry.
What do you on about? What?
So this is the news story that... Stephen Howson, everybody. You know.
Alright.
How you doing?
Welcome.
Welcome
Alright.
once again.
I've literally flew off the train.
Yes, you have.
Into
Yeah.
that.
Not even sat down yet, and I'm like...
What's going on here?
Yeah.
It's only the third weirdest thing of
They
the
are
day,
going
actually.
crazy. they love the phone calls. I thought the accent was good.
I got a thing
grew
though.
into it.
When was the last time you picked up a phone like that?
I mean...
It's
I
coming
mean,
back.
it's more like that, isn't it?
It's coming back.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't think... I'm just kind of trying to get through it already.
People love it.
Yeah, they love it. They're not doing it.
Realism to your miming.
Alright.
Exactly.
So what is it?
Thank you.
Like that?
It's not, innit? It's that.
No.
It's got to be the one finger on the back of
Alright,
it.
gotcha.
The grip.
Forgotten how you hold a phone.
So Thierry Henry apparently has been blamed for making the move from Sanchez from Arsenal to Man United more, convinced him to go.
Yeah, so
But-
Sanchez in an Instagram quote said, I remember today a conversation I had with Henry, a historic Arsenal player, who changed club for the same reason, and today is my turn.
So what does he mean by that?
The fact he's put in, so there's this long kind of final statement to the Arsenal fans where he says, look, I gave everything to the cause and all that stuff. And then he's put in that little paragraph there.
Yeah.
And he's not stupid enough to think that people
Well,
are
he's
going to pick up
tweeted
on
since
that.
then. He's tweeted since then and said...
It's too late though.
Yeah. I mean...
He doesn't say, Terry told me to go.
No.
He just says, he left for the same sort of reasons.
I don't get...
Which is fine.
So what are the
But
reasons?
people have jumped to go and win stuff.
He's got to go and win something somewhere elsewhere. He's never going to do it at Arsenal. Well, the big things, not the FA Cup. Well, no one cares about the FA Cup, clearly.
FA Cup game week 24 as well, Flav. Don't forget.
Well, I care about it. I'd love to win it. I'm
doesn't
just saying
matter.
Arsenal fans don't seem to give a shit about it.
Okay.
So, parades for it, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, so they should. It's a major competition. But... it's not enough for players like Alexis. You can understand he wants to win the Champions League.
We didn't.
He wants to win the
We won it
league.
at Louis van Gaal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No-
you
no
won it. Yeah.
parade. I
Same
think you just
night,
went like
wasn't it? See you later. Off you go.
Threw it in the cupboard.
Is that a good thing?
No.
Oh, you would like to parade?
I probably wouldn't have gone, but,
You think it's... Do you see
should.
the FA Cup as a major trophy still?
well, yeah, of course. Look, we didn't celebrate last year with the Europa and the League Cup, and you're like, are we only going to have parades for a Champions League and a league title now?
What are you going to celebrate? Some people would say that celebrating
When's that going to happen?
the league... Well,
Well, I guess
players like Sanchez.
It's going to make a difference, yeah, absolutely. This is the Fan League sponsored One for the Weekend podcast, the podcast you need to get yourself ready for the weekend's football. FA Cup this weekend,
Big
which,
one.
it's the big one.
Well, I'll tell you what,
FA Cup.
Newport away is the hardest ticket that we've had to get all season. No, there aren't...
Small ground.
it's like 800, 900.
Don't forget your passport.
All over...
Because they won't let you.
What, going to Wales? All right.
And your Euros.
Good one.
Yeah.
That's great, lads.
That worked once. We had a night out in Cardiff, and one of the lads brought his girlfriend and said, like, do not forget your passport and your euros, and she brought them. And there was, I think there's a bridge, there? And she sort of, she was getting, she had a folder, just to get it all out. That's a waste of time.
Yeah, so and 99 tickets, the only way you're getting there is if you're in the top tier of away season ticket holders.
Right.
It's impossible.
Huddersfield was a big one for United this year. Yeah. People were swapping Anfields to go to Huddersfield.
Really?
Is it just because they'd never been?
New ground in it, but also a really small allocation, yeah.
You regret if you did that? Because you lost.
Yeah, I reckon, well, no, if swapping Anfield for it...
Still
sitting there, innit? You know what I mean?
Yeah, both of them pretty.
Probably a better game of football to watch.
You don't enjoy that when you go to a game, no matter how good they are. I don't enjoy a good game of football. I enjoy when Spurs slaughter the opposition.
Bingo.
I don't think, this is a great game of football.
What's the worst game of footballs ever?
You're making it clear.
Finals are the worst football games ever.
Yeah.
Unless you're neutral.
If you was a Liverpool fan, Man City fan, in that game, you wouldn't have sat there going, this is a great game of football for the neutrals.
Well, hang on,
this is fucking horrible. Let's finish it.
People traded the Anfield tickets
for Huddersfield away.
Yeah, so Anfield's that's just a league game.
Yeah.
We're talking about cup finals.
No, we're talking Huddersfield in the league.
Cup finals are horrible.
Alright, fine.
But I mean, big games. We're saying you wouldn't maybe swap it normally.
No.
It's a big game, but even in the big games are horrible.
Horrible, yeah.
And cup finals are horrible unless you're neutral. That's the only time they're good.
I'm confused. You've lost me. Anyway, right.
It's because QPR
down there, aren't I?
When was the last time you had a big game? I'm not doing it to the piss. I'm just like, I imagine it doesn't come up often.
When was it sounds like we're bullying now, but when was the last time?
No one says that and then says something that's reasonable.
But when was the last time you was actually nervous going into a game? Not because there was
knowing this is a monumental game.
Yeah, rather not
because even last year's League Cup final, I was like pretty chill about it, to be honest.
Really, that's a different.
The FA Cup final I wasn't. The FA Cup final I wasn't. And most games against City and Liverpool I'm not, but like the League Cup I was pretty chill about it.
You're always
a little bit nervous.
Yeah, you're always a little bit nervous. I mean, Brentford last year we were starting to we'd lost 6 on the bounce and then it was starting to get a bit nervy. And we're boring people. Right, this podcast, let me just do the intro bit. One for the Weekend podcast in association with Fanny. We're going to talk about Alexis Sanchez in more detail. Is he the most important player in that Man United squad now, and how important a signing is it for Man United? Man United are playing Spurs next weekend as well, so absolutely. I'm going to ask you guys the question, how many of the opposition's players would you take in your starting 11? Those Were the Days is back, which I think started with the first time Howson was with us, actually.
Do you remember those? Yeah,
we were talking about football boots, weren't we? Yeah, look. So look, see how emotional he's getting.
Yeah.
You can see that if you're listening to this on iTunes. Yeah, it's doing the Leeds badge. Yeah, we can talk about the Leeds badge in a second. Go on, let's do that now. Let's do that.
Did someone win a contest? Did they?
No, that's I don't know. Maybe it could well have been. It's terrible.
It'd be an excuse.
And the irony is, it's about embracing the importance of the fans of the club, and I like that. I get that ethos, and I'm behind that completely. But they haven't consulted the fans when making that horrendous badge. So how fucking real are they about it?
So to explain, Leeds United have decided to have a new badge.
And it's shite.
And
terrible.
Basically, it says Leeds United at the top, and then it's got the body of a person doing a sort of fist to their heart.
It reminds me a little bit like the Columbus Crew style.
It does. I thought that as well.
Very odd.
It's a bit American sports actually, with the figures that they always have, like a mascot involved in the thing. Yeah. Some of them can look quite cool.
A weird thing with the
Leeds doesn't.
Leeds badge. Yeah, some of the Leeds badge. They've never most have them like an upgrade on. Or a kind of slight modernification of the logo.
Yeah, where's the Yorkshire flower in there? Because
that's important.
That is Leeds, isn't it? If you think of Leeds, you think of Yorkshire. Yeah. Where's that? Where's the representation of the area? Where's the nod to the heritage or anything? This looks like a brand new franchised thing.
Well, cynically, I would say that they probably wanted to get rid of the local aspect of it and the community aspect of it, and ironically saying it's about the fans, but actually thinking we need to create a brand that's going to be more palatable for people that are not from Yorkshire. And the Yorkshire flower doesn't do anything for.
But that's
their strongest thing.
No, 100%.
Proper Yorkshire.
Exactly, and that's that. They should never lose that, but. It's like the rebranding of the Cockerel at Spurs. They made it more modern. They made it more palatable for overseas fans.
What was the reaction to that?
Everyone quite liked it at the time. Yeah.
Because there's still some roots.
It's still Spurs.
You don't look at it and go, "What is that?" You go, "Spurs."
Yeah.
They've minimalised what they already had rather than.
But what they had
with some Americanisation of it.
But the version before that, they had like the Seven Sisters, so the Seven Trees of Seven Sisters Road, which means nothing to anyone. They had Bruce Castle Tower, again nothing to anyone who people that know the history in the community. It means something.
Yeah.
So
they love those trees.
I mean, they're not there anymore.
If Spurs went down the American route, it'd be like a big angry cockerel with teeth and like Spurs.
Yeah, if they're going to go
that's
what. Do you know what it'd be? It'd be a boot on an angle.
Yeah.
It'd be a cowboy boot on an angle. Just a spur there.
They also got rid of the Latin as well, which is upsetting. You know, I like that. I like that kind of history.
How much
a lot
Latin
of
do you
people
know?
don't know. Do you speak Latin fluently? Just give us a little bit now.
Auderius facere, to do is to do.
Give us another sentence in Latin.
Canis edit edem, just like dog ate street or something like that. I did that in the school.
Profound.
What?
Canis means dog in Latin.
You're not even that old, are you?
I'm 36. It's old enough to have Latin in school, yeah.
Wow. Fair enough. Bringing it back to football, Frank Lampard got an A-level in Latin as well.
Did he really?
He did, yeah. That's right, isn't it, Craig? Right, no, sure. Right, you can play Fan League with us by clicking the link in the app. We had some new people last week. We were doing the mug roll call.
Yeah.
In just a second, Alec Taylor, 8 out of 10, well done. Joshua Boyd Smith as well, got 8 out of 10. Both newbies, I think.
Yeah.
Both doing well, good, solid performances in our One for the Weekend league. If you want to join, click that link and then add me as a friend, James Alcott, LLTT, and then I can add you to the league.
I've gone big this week.
Have you?
Yeah, I've spent 17 credits.
Really?
Yeah, that's expensive.
That is expensive.
Big money, yeah.
I did do one last week, but the week before I went bananas and lost.
Really?
It's tough. This week's really hard though.
Yeah,
just doubling up all over the place.
Yeah.
And
hedging.
Just ridging up all my credits, yeah.
Half hedging is key. We with our league, there's a league of the leagues.
Yeah.
And it's not...
Did we go up this week or...?
We did. We went up.
Yes.
We went up about 5 places, which is
fine.
good. We're going in the right direction after going down 20 places last week.
Yeah,
However, some people still did let us down.
Who did?
Let's do the mug roll call.
Okay.
Mr. Fuzi, 4 out of 10.
Mug.
Was the worst this last week.
Who's his name? Sir Fuzi.
Mr. Fuzi.
I know a Sir Fuzi. If it's him, he's a legend, not a mug.
Well, you've got 4 out of 10, so you're a mug. Sorav Palmer, 5 out of 10.
Mug.
And Man-like Isaac, which I hope that's not his first name. Man-like.
Yeah.
But that might be a thing that...
No.
You know when there used to be loads of Britneys and...
No, man like... yeah, mug.
Mug indeed.
Don't think I've ever met a Britney in real life.
Really?
I think
Can't
so.
say I have, no.
Back in 2008, when I used to coach soccer or football, whatever people call it, there was a lot of Kierans and Britneys due to the fame. Not that I don't understand the Kieran bit, but the Britney bit was definitely...
In the
late
US,
great
in the
Britney
States?
Spears, yeah. No, in Sheffield. Trivia. Last week we asked you this question, see if you can get it, Howson. This weekend, or last weekend... Oh!
It's the sound of the police. Go on.
Didn't even flinch, did he?
What was it?
That's like, I've told you this before, my mate, when he farts in a club, like when you go to a club and someone will fart, right?
What?
And everyone, stick with me,
Right.
everyone will go mad. Everyone will like, what? Because it's so loud, you've got to kind of become a mime. That is not, whatever's happened there, it's not me, right? My one mate, Dom, he would just carry on dancing, and people after you say it's not me, you'll start to go around to your other mates in the club and go on the dance floor and go, is that you? It's you, isn't it? It's you. And the people go, no, it's not me. And it would end up getting to Dom, and you go, Dom, is that you? And you go, can't smell anything, and it was him.
Yeah.
It was always him.
Always.
And a bit like you there, Howson, as your phone went off.
Was that my phone?
Flinch, yeah.
I thought it was some bleeding thing that you had it. Yeah, it
No,
was.
it's your phone.
Yeah.
So last week
Oh shit! I've called an emergency dial.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah,
Wow.
I've actually called it.
Oh.
See if they ring back.
We're not going to do it.
Anyway,
It was a pocket dial.
Yeah. Last week we
But
asked...
at least they got to listen to your boring story.
yeah, good story, isn't it?
Well done.
Last weekend, Eddie Howe he had his 100th Premier League match as a manager, and at 40 years and 52 days, he was the 3rd youngest English manager to do so. But who were the other 2 that were younger than him and got to 100 games as a Premier League manager?
Did I get one?
Permanent bosses.
They were both permanent bosses.
And they're English?
Both English, yeah.
Hoddle.
Hoddle is
player
one.
manager. Brian Robson, player manager.
A few people said Brian Robson wasn't. So Asmund Larson and Devang Shah, you both got it
Oh, it
right.
wasn't Brian Robson. He was 36.
Glenn Hoddle was one. I don't know.
It's just what's on the paper.
Yeah, that is it.
All we got is what
Demand a recount.
Yeah.
Who
And
did you manage, United?
Gareth
Middlesbrough.
Southgate.
Right.
Gareth Southgate was the other one.
Who was he manager of at the time?
Borough.
See, you got Middlesbrough.
Yeah,
Brian
we
Robson
might
was
have to look into that.
He was player manager for... Because you don't remember the most iconic of iconic...
Yeah, unveilings of a manager.
unveilings, yeah. He's got a suit and tie on. and then shorts and socks.
Oh, what?
Because,
and a scarf.
Yeah.
It's awful.
It's very clever. Very clever choreography.
It's gash.
I think the same person did the Leeds badge as well.
Yeah.
It's the most... Right,
because he went from United...
He's a manager. He what?
95,
95,
yeah.
And
then he was Middlesbrough boss, so...
maybe. Might have to look at that again.
Joe, I'm going to Google it right now because I'm not sitting here with this
He had a couple
injustice.
couple of decent spells as manager, quite a lot of little tiny pockets of success, keeping West Brom up after being bottom of the league at Christmas.
Yeah.
First manager to do that.
Yeah, did okay with Borough. Did take them down. I think West Brom took them down in the end as well.
He was born in 57.
Thailand, yeah, of course. All right. What else we got?
Anyway, so yeah, that was the answer. This week, this is a question no one's getting this.
Yeah, it was 1994 he took over.
Right.
And he was born in he was 37, 36 or 37.
Be better at those.
That doesn't mean he got to 100 games, does it?
Oh.
That's very good point.
Right.
Come on.
I thought it was just youngest managers.
What's this question?
This one, you will not get this one. No chance. No one's getting it. If you can get this in the comments without Googling it, then you've done very, very well. Which 5 Premier League players of the month winners were from these countries? So basically there's one Premier League player of the month for each of these countries.
Mark Viduka.
Hang on. Let me.
Sorry.
Hang on, I've got my thinking cap on.
So there's been one, yeah. So Australia, Austria,
There's
Croatia,
only been one from each.
Australia, Austria, Croatia, Paraguay, and Turkey.
Turkey. Who's the guy who used to play for Blackburn?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Tudgay.
Tudgay.
Is it him?
Which one's that? Turkey?
Yeah.
No.
Turkey. Nuri Sahin?
Who?
Sahin?
No.
Liverpool.
It was the first country.
Tim Cahill.
I'm going to say Harry Kewell.
No.
Oh.
What?
Yeah.
Mark Viduka.
They are all names that you all know.
Mark
if
Fish.
You're a proper fan. Mark Fish.
South Africa.
No, is he?
Mark Fish. Where's that come from? That's amazing.
Just popped into my head.
Australia.
Yeah. So there you go. There's 5. You can keep shouting them as the podcast goes on. Let's know in the comments. Crancho is not
Modric.
One. No, neither is Modric. Okay,
Modric isn't. It's an absolute sham of a competition.
Right, let's talk Alexis. Likely to make his debut. Not Lalas.
See, he's an icon, man.
Yeah.
That is a player. And if I tell you Alexis Lalas, what am I thinking of right now?
World Cup 94.
Boom.
And he playing the guitar.
Nope.
The beard.
I was thinking more of the blue kit that they wore with the stars
and stripes. Yeah, that's terrible.
That was the 2 things that was in my head.
Right, let's do it.
Yeah, Alexis Sanchez, likely to make his debut against Yeovil in the FA Cup this weekend. We were talking about it before we started the podcast. I think it's been unbelievable the amount of Sanchez videos that there's been on YouTube over there.
It was the biggest story.
Head over everywhere. To Stephen Howson FC to see 3 absolutely fantastic ones.
Exactly, absolutely.
I've that doubt.
Yeah, well done, good plug.
No, it's fine.
Is Sanchez, how important is this signing for Manchester United?
Wasn't the most obvious position we needed.
What was that?
Probably number 8, I reckon. Someone that can play alongside Pogba. Arguably a centre half, arguably a left back if he doesn't like Luke Shaw. Mourinho seems really intent on that. I mean, a winger that crosses Sanchez isn't really that crossing winger. He comes in for himself a lot. He does create a lot. He creates a hell of a lot. I think his passing, his through balls especially, are really underrated. Yeah. I think he's going to help Lukaku a lot. But he's not what you think of when you think of a crossing winger, is it?
No, I don't. He's not going to give you width. If anything, it's going to make your football more narrow. But when the opportunity, it doesn't matter about his limitations. When your opportunity to sign a world-class player is available,
you take it,
and what is it end up for? I know it's a lot of money for wages and whatnot, but for a fee of even if it is 35 million, oh no, it's a swap with Mkhitaryan. So they've got players off the wages. They've done very well, United. And I
think Arsenal done well out of it as well. Player who's losing for free in 6 months. They've got Mkhitaryan, who, when I heard this last week that actually Mkhitaryan wanted to go to Arsenal, I thought he was holding a deal up. Apparently, he's not. He wanted to go to Arsenal all along. Before he came to United, even.
But have you not seen that he said the same line when he went to Dortmund, when he went to Man United, when he went to Arsenal?
There was someone I was talking to last week that said Mkhitaryan really wants to go to Arsenal ahead of going most places. So I'm inclined to believe it.
I think with Sanchez the way he attacks and doesn't sort of go to the byline and get a cross in, I think that still might work for Lukaku in a counter-attacking sense because it allows Lukaku to sort of work the channels a little bit more, even from a start.
Depends where he starts. If we play, he can play as a 10, he can play on the right, he can play on the left, and I honestly think he's going to play him on the left. I'd love to see him played on the right because I think we lack width, and when Matt's coming in from the right-hand side and there's everyone sort of bunching up over to that left, it's easy to mark everybody in it. Whereas if we had width across the front line, It creates space, doesn't it? And I think that's what United have lacked a little bit. Someone to just, hog that touchline a little bit.
Are you excited? Does he excite you?
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you feel at the moment?
Not send me up, mate.
Yeah.
Lovely. That's lovely. That's really
No,
nice.
I get that.
Not full rager, but
No, you're
Friday.
on the brink.
On Friday. Text me on Friday.
On the brink. Yeah.
Yeah, that's lovely.
Because it kind of seemed odds on that he was going to go City. City wanted him, but obviously balked at the amount of money that they had to pay.
Wrong.
Sorry, go on then. What do you think?
That was rude.
They was offering him more. City offering him more. This is a fact.
So what's the
They
story?
was offering him like 20 grand a week less in wages, but 30 million as a signing on bonus.
Right.
So unless United have offered him 30 million as a signing on bonus, which they didn't.
So why the story goes that they.
That's the story. It makes a story, doesn't it? That City pulled out. Why did they only pull out why was they in for him for 2 transfer windows?
Like
What are you telling me that they didn't know his wage demands in all that time?
Yeah. So you saying?
And when United come in and he goes, see ya.
Yeah, but do you think?
Do you think that actually happened?
Do you think realistically that why would he choose United over? I'm not asking to compare the clubs, but
I think
like
club stature aside, guaranteed success. But I think people misread the fact that he's worked with Mourinho before. The fact he's worked with Mourinho before, knows Guardiola before, knows that he's got a super strict, specific style of play. And for me, Sanchez's style of play is counter that. He puts his head down, he runs. That's not tiki-taka football. He played that at Barcelona. Guardiola got frustrated with him quite often at Barcelona.
Right.
And seeing the embarrassment of riches City have got in those positions, they definitely didn't need him. Yeah. So if he comes in and he does 2 or 3 games where he's not quite doing it, and at 29, do you want to change your game? Doubt it. So 2 or 3 games where he's coming in and doing his own thing, Mourinho benches him because he's benching Aguero.
Does, yeah.
He's benching Yaya Toure. He's benching big players. I think he looks at that team and goes, I got United to play every week. I got City, probably going to win the Premier League this year. No guarantee of anything else. Not even really a guarantee of that. Although I won't bet against it. Yeah. Do I want to be the focal point of the team?
I think that's the biggest thing. But I think
that makes sense. Yeah.
I would disagree with the fact that Man City knew what his wage demands were and that never changed. I reckon as the clock was ticking in terms of the contract going down,
I think they probably went back with him. But I don't think City was going to... The way City are painting it is obviously to try and make them look as favourable as possible. I don't think it was purely down to money. But I think it was more down to the playing time and his own expectations of status within the squad, which he's definitely getting at United.
Yeah.
Because Matic plays every week, Pogba plays every week, Zlatan played every week till he was injured, Lukaku doesn't get subbed. You know what I mean? These are what the big stars at United get, and I think he comes in and he is that. Yeah,
and Mourinho's massively into having specialist players, isn't he? He likes to have a specialist player for each position. It's not like players filling each other's roles. They have a starter for these positions.
And you're right in saying that he's happy to keep playing them and not
almost
changing it
frustratingly.
Too much. Yeah,
almost frustratingly.
Does he become? We were looking into earlier today Championship Manager and how you can get that on your Mac. Working really hard, guys. And when we looked at the squad,
I found an emulator last year.
Yeah, we sorted it.
Yeah, sorry,
Which year you want?
We're doing 97, 98, but we're going to do 01, 02. I think that was better.
I've got a disc actually, a Championship Manager 3, which I think is
like an old school disc,
a CD.
Right.
Yeah,
but I haven't got a CD slot on my Mac.
Yeah.
But it works. Apparently, it works on Windows and Mac. So when they released it, they dual booted it somehow.
Wow. If any of you
technology, what's it all about?
if any of you are young enough not to have experienced Championship Manager for what was now Football Manager, 01, 02 or 78, 77.
2, mate. Championship Manager 2 on the squares that's how old I am.
It's quality. Anyway, what was I saying?
So my point was that we then looked at a squad. And people will remember who had that Championship Manager, and I think for a few years after as well, the 3 best players of the squad would be highlighted and have a little star next to them.
They'd be emboldened.
Yeah.
First question, is Sanchez in that 3? And second question, is he the most important player that Man United have now?
No, he's not. He is in the 3, but he's not the most important player. I say our 3 would be Pogba, Sanchez, De Gea. Lukaku's just on the edge of that. Matic is probably just on the edge of that. If we're talking just pure ability, maybe Bays, another one just on the outside of that. Most important is still Pogba. Pogba makes United tick. And I think if you're going to bend any system to fit a player, I would be bending it to Pogba's abilities, and Sanchez can fit in around wherever the space is around him.
Yeah.
I feel like Sanchez is going to, for the amount of... It might be for people that watch Man United every single game. There's always a player that I think it's Dembele, isn't it, with with Spurs, that player that makes your team tick. In terms of that guy who gets the assists and the goals, he is going to be that guy now.
Sanchez.
Far more than Pogba.
I think Lukaku is going to be excited about the incoming, I think.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you can create so much more. This changes United into kind of nearly Premier League worthy in terms of titles.
I think what it offers us is...
If you had Sanchez at the start of the season, I think the gap would be smaller.
Well, we tried to get Griezmann and Perisic, didn't we? And I think United's attitude in a lot of the bigger games might have been different if we'd have had that potency. I think what it gives us going into the Champions League is, do you believe in Mourinho's ability to shit out a win against everybody with the attacking lineup that we've now got? I do. I think on the counter you've got Sanchez playing and Pogba hitting a ball over to him, Lukaku. Can we scuff a 0-0 away to anyone? Pretty sure we can.
Yeah.
And can we then scrap a goal at home? I think we can.
You look and you apply that to the Champions League, which he can play in. Fuck me, yeah, because Arsenal are out of it. So, but they're now
enjoyed every second of that realisation.
Yeah. Especially because this year, because I don't think Spurs and Arsenal are getting in, so it'll be another season without them. We can deal with that. With years that used to have not been in. Anyway, let's leave it. Now United have got to be a decent shout for the Champions League. You're right. Mourinho can stink out. I've seen him do it many times.
I'm not saying we're the best,
but no one gave Inter Milan a chance.
Top 5 teams in Europe at the moment.
You don't need to be.
But that team rarely wins the Champions League.
Yeah,
rarely.
Exactly.
True. I think as well what we're seeing is you're getting a step closer to the Real Madrid-Barcelona rivalry that you saw, and a team that's so good in the transition. Sanchez takes you up to another level with that, and he'll make the quality of those transitions in terms of being on the ball. It will be given to him quickly,
it's
and he'll be able to carry it on.
When you're looking around that team and you're going, it's 5 minutes to go, who's going to score that goal? There's now not just maybe one face, there might be 2 or 3 faces that you're going,
yeah,
that guy can get us that goal. And
he'll lift up players who probably aren't ready for that pressure yet, because he'll take that pressure, and I think that's going to be a massive thing for them, which could work well in the.
He's also for Chile, for Christ's sake. Name me 3 other Chile players.
Gary Medel,
Marcelo Salas,
current Chile players. Do you know what I mean? You've got Vidal, you've got the reserve keeper at City, and then it's loads of chin scratching. That's how good he is. He beat that Argentina team with Messi.
Good chin scratching. Final question then. Actually, two more questions with Man United, because we're talking about Man United Spurs. So Flav, get yourself ready. How many Man United players would make it into the Spurs starting 11 if everyone was fit? Last question. You like to watch the under 18s teams and see those players come through. We were chatting about Sean Goss a few times. He was at QPR and he's now gone to Rangers on loan.
I'm going to go see him next month, actually. Yeah, he sorted some tickets out.
Apparently he's even in his first few games they're quite.
What you're going up to?
Yeah, Demi Mitchell has gone on loan to Hearts, and obviously no Gossy. So I slung him a text and was like, if I come up for that game, United have got a game. They play Chelsea the day after, so it's a new stadium I've never been to, Hearts.
Yeah.
Go and watch Demi against Gossy.
That'd be good.
Yeah. Nightmare is can't hang around afterwards. Got to get the train back straight away.
Is there a?
It's a long way.
A bloody long way.
Not as far as Tipperary, but it's pretty long.
Yeah.
So with that kind of, and that's such a tradition of Manchester United bringing through players. The two that are in those positions where Sanchez might operate is Lingard and Rashford. Do you worry for those two, or is it just part of being a Man United fan now that you can't really have that kind of sympathy with any kind of player, regardless of how they come through?
It's a little bit of both. Obviously, you want to see your homegrown players do well. I think Jesse Lingard's sort of grooming himself to be a bit of a number 8 at the moment, which I'm liking. He's probably a little bit lightweight to ever really be considered Mourinho's first choice in a monster game, but he's doing bits. Yeah, he's doing bits. So,
for sure. But you need a squad. It's not it's not about them getting into the first 11. You need a squad.
Rashford's going for a little bit of a dip. He needs to develop, and that was inevitable really with how fast his rise has been. He's going to plateau. And
is Rashford a number 9 or is he a wide player?
He always really played wide. He did play down the middle, but most of the time I ever saw him, he was. It was probably 50-50 really. He played down the middle. He played on the left a little bit.
Him to play wide?
I don't know. It's a bit like Juan Mata and Rooney. Where's their best position? They almost need a position creating just for them, really, or a system in a team.
Free role, maybe.
Yeah, but I think Marshall is likely to be the one that suffers immediately, because I think he's going to play him on the left. I'd love to see Marshall, Lukaku, and Sanchez as a forward 3. That's deadly.
Yeah.
I just think he's going to play him on the left. If he doesn't, and Marshall does keep his spot on the left, then I think happy days. There's spot for Rashford to come into any of them three positions.
Isn't there a role for Martial to play as an inverted winger, play with, left hand side, or play on the right hand side and cut in? Because a lot of
he's right footed.
Is he?
Yeah.
Really?
Fuck, I always
Most of his goals, think of his goals, he comes in on his right foot.
Yeah, true.
Oh,
yeah,
right.
the goal against Liverpool.
His goal against everybody. He's coming on his
Oh,
right foot.
just see him running down.
You see him down left going to the byline, don't you? That's the thing.
He does put the odd cross in with his right, but I think he could do it on the right, to be honest.
One thing I forgot to talk about. So he's going to make his debut here. There are some epic debuts that have happened down the years. Let us know yours in the comments. I've got a few that we just wanted to sort of touch on. I did a bit of research and just found an article that was like looking at some great ones that were in the sort of Premier League era. And so these are the top three. First one, you were at the game, Stephen. Man United versus Fenerbahce, 2004. Wayne Rooney's first game for United following a £26 million move from Everton. He scored a hat-trick. It was frightening.
Was there no transfer window then, or was he injured? No, he's injured, wasn't he? Because he did his foot against Croatia. Yeah. It was October, wasn't it? I was like...
And 2004, wasn't it? Euro 2004 came burst on the scene, and that's...
How was it so far down the line? Oh, yeah, because obviously that was him recovering from his injury.
His first game in Champions League as well. Scores a hat-trick.
Recovering from an injury.
What do you remember about that game?
18 years old. I remember being well excited, because obviously everybody saw what he did at Everton. What he did with England was kind of terrifying, wasn't it? He was unbelievable in the Euros. He never reached that peak again in a national tournament.
No.
But then he comes in for United, and I can't remember if Saha was up front or if it was Rude that night with him. I can't remember. But we'd signed Ronaldo the previous summer, and we had a lot of exciting players. And I could distinctly remember, like, early hours in the morning once, sitting with one of my mates, just going through how young and like aggressively good some of the players that we had was. I was like, oh my god, like in a couple of years they're going to bang. Ultimately they did.
Yeah.
We eventually became good and we had a hell of a team, but I remember, Wayne Rooney that night could have done anything he wanted. It was almost laughable how easy it was for him.
Yeah.
Had a great career with United.
Yeah, he did.
Now United in England leading goal scorer. If he'd have called it a day in the summer when he walked away from United, I don't think anyone could have been upset with his career. Yeah. A lot of miles on his clock because of obviously starting at 16, but
still doing alright at Everton as well.
Yeah, he was probably third or fourth best player in the world at some point. I think it's fair to say around about 2007, 8, 9ish. He was a shade under the very, very best in the world.
I think when he took over, he kind of had to take over, didn't he? When Ronaldo left.
Even prior to him going, I think that he was happy to do the graft and let Ronaldo take the plaudits. I think and.
So that was a 6-2 win as well, that game in the Champions League against Fenerbahce. The second one, Tony Cottee, Everton versus Newcastle, 1988. Cottee, who has also scored on his West Ham debut, became Britain's most expensive player when he moved from East London to Merseyside for $2 million. $2 million.
Do you reckon it was all in the papers about him earning $5,000 a week?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is outrageous. But settled in at Goodison Park so quickly that he had his first goal on his debut 34 seconds into the game.
Sub me off.
That's it.
Sub me off.
Done.
A feign injury, wouldn't you?
There were some players when I was a kid that used to strike the fear of God in me. Tony Cottee was one.
Really?
Young, small and quick, and you primitive brain when you're a kid, that's what you look for. Ray Parlour.
What, just scared you?
Yeah, terrified. Every time he got the ball, I was like, we're fucked.
Anyone else ever thought that?
Oh, I don't know. That's the way my
I think
brain
Arsenal
works.
fans thought that.
And Dean Saunders of Liverpool.
Dean Saunders had he had a year or two
Liverpool,
when fat players were still a thing. Like he was.
Yeah.
That was at Sheffield United. He got a throw on and he threw it at the back. The goalkeeper ran out and kicked it out.
Yeah.
He got the ball, threw it on the back of the goalkeeper, so that it just came back to him and he could kick it.
Is that still classed as a legal act now? Is it?
Yeah, I think so. My son's team used to do it on a regular basis. That my son would take a throw and throw it on the back of his mate, and the opposition, everyone's just looking around like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Such an effective tactic.
Definitely.
And they don't get the credit for that, do they? Figuring that out. It's a shame. It got even better for him. He added 2 more goals in the game. So he got a hat-trick as well. It's a 4-0 win on the opening day.
It's a bad precedent, doesn't it, though, that you to live up to is hard.
Yeah, exactly. How do you follow that?
And number 1, I thought this was really interesting. Alvaro Recoba. When's the last time you heard that name? Inter Milan versus Brescia, 1997. Inter's opening match of the 97-98 season was all about one man, but the wrong man, as it turned out. Recoba had joined the Italians at the same time as Ronaldo had moved to the San Siro from Barcelona. With all eyes on the game, it was left to the boy from Montevideo to steal the spotlight after he left the bench with Inter trailing, so they were losing, to score twice in the last 10 minutes. The first a 30-yard pile driver, the second a free kick from distance. Royal over stuff.
Amazing.
Asked, because original Ronaldo at that era at Inter was probably my favourite player of all time. Non-United player.
He was,
I mean,
phenomenal.
It was, and he had 2 cruciate knee ligaments and come back from them both to become amazing. So, yeah.
So he used to just train in a sandpit on his own. He didn't even play football.
It's weird.
He just trained in like
just
a
little his knee.
Yeah, so he wouldn't be taking as much impact.
Right.
And then they just sort of do like half an hour of that every day, and then I'll see you on Saturday.
Really?
And then he'd be breaking ankles left, right, and centre.
Yeah. Ledley King used to just go swimming each day. That's all he'd do. He wouldn't train, wouldn't do tactics, nothing. Just, I mean, he'd sit in the team meetings and whatnot, but he would just go for a swim.
It's insane.
His knee was just, there was just nothing there. Like all the cartilage had gone. So just go on, get in the pool. Get in the pool, have a good swim.
That's really odd. Right, Man United vs Spurs next weekend.
Yeah.
It's Wednesday.
The question.
No, it's Wednesday. Yeah, not weekend.
Sorry, next Wednesday. Sorry.
Yeah.
How many Spurs players will get in the Man United team? Let us know your thoughts on this if you're Man United or Spurs or football fan in general. How many players from the opposition would get?
Well, Sanchez would.
Yeah.
Pogba would. You just wait and see what I say. I'm running out of players. That's it.
Sanchez and Pogba.
I'm going to take
De Gea would all day.
Yeah.
I'm going to take Alderweireld because we need another centre half.
Yeah.
I'm going to take Harry Winks because I think we need someone to control the play a little bit.
You take. Yeah, he wouldn't start though.
No, he would for me. I like
really?
him.
I like him a lot. He's dipped in form a lot and he's injured. You take Harry Kane though. Please don't. Please don't do this. You're going to put him in ahead of Lukaku. You have to, because if you don't, everything else you say is a joke.
For what he doesn't do much apart from score goals.
Bring him on, last 20 to finish.
That's bollocks.
Finish the team off. You need to go look at Lukaku's interplay at the moment and the way he's been just allowing everybody else to set up. Who's your second leading goal scorer?
Well, Son.
On.
9.
Go look how many United players are around about the dozen sort of mark because of Lukaku's movement across the front
he doesn't
line.
bring anyone else into play.
Yeah,
You're being a dick, and you're just saying that because I'm sitting there.
Maybe.
Okay.
You'd take Kane, come on, everyone would. But
would Kane start for Man United? Let us know in the comments below.
It's not. Don't let us know. I don't want to know. I do not want to know what your opinion is. So don't let us know.
Yeah.
It's bollocks. Of course he would.
You can vote by clicking the like button.
Sanchez. Yeah. All right. Vote by doing that. Pogba would walk in. Sanchez would definitely get in down the right hand side, or the left to get in anywhere. To be honest, I think Son would get in the United team.
I do like Son.
Yeah,
I think he's an excellent player,
Yeah.
but it's the way you play him because I like to play with a free midfield free.
Yeah. You'd have to. He has to play wide left. What's or up top? He leads the line pretty well. What's your opinions on Dele Alli? I don't know because I've voiced my opinion many times. I think he's a rough,
I don't know. I think
rough
he's
diamond.
But how long is he going to be a rough diamond for? Because he's not that inexperienced anymore.
No, he's got plenty of experience. He's played almost 200 league games.
For you? Or
No,
in total?
no, with MK Dons as well.
Yeah, that's no longer a rookie. That's a player that really should now start to know what's going on, I think.
Is that how you judge a young player? The amount of games they play?
Absolutely.
Or the age?
No,
it's
it's
experience.
it's
I think 100 games should be the... I always thought, like, young player of the year should be a limit of 100 matches for young player of the year. Because 24-year-olds with 300 pleading appearances...
Well, Kane still... It shouldn't be... I mean, that's...
It was Bale won it
Yeah.
the year before he went to Madrid, and you're like...
Yeah, it's not
like,
fair.
yeah, it should be a rookie of the year almost.
Yeah.
Like 100... That's 2.5 seasons, really, of being first choice, or like 4 or 5 seasons of playing fairly regular football. 100 games should be the limit. Because once you're 100 games deep, you're a pro.
Do you think Eriksen gets in front of Mata?
Come on.
I don't think Matt's playing in our starting 11 at the moment.
No, fair enough. So, yeah, but the thing is you play 3
That
up
means
top,
yes,
which
that
doesn't make
means
sense.
That means it's better.
Because
You won that one.
We wouldn't
Well
play... We'd never play 3 up top ever, so... I don't know.
I wouldn't worry about it too much.
Oh, it's bothering me a little bit.
Well, okay. Still to come, those were the days and
Put combined
soldiers
11s
lost
in
in
the
battle. Let's do those were the days.
They do well, usually.
So this is from...
They're horrible, though.
This is from... Oh, I've had a
Does
minute.
that mean anything, does it?
It's from Sidney Fisher. It's now been nearly 11 years since Peter Crouch scored a perfect hat-trick for Liverpool against Arsenal. The big man was always underrated with his feet.
What's mental is he's going to look back on his career and see that he played X amount of games for England and he played for Liverpool and Chelsea.
Yeah.
And he should never really have got above like Port Vale level.
Well, steady on now. You just calm down.
Oh yeah, he did
He's
alright.
saying things.
He did do alright for you, didn't
He
he?
did alright for every club he's been at.
He's going to take exception with that.
How dare you?
He was pony for Spurs, but I do love him.
Shit, yeah, he played for Spurs.
Got you
as
to
well.
the Champions League.
No, he didn't. He
More
didn't.
clubs than Tiger Woods.
We got
hasn't he?
him in spite of him. We're like, oh, Crouch is so... Because Crouch, he could not shoot. Like, for a professional footballer, he could not get the ball off the ground for a start.
For a 6'7" guy, he doesn't. When he jumps,
He wasn't a
he just
target
sort
man.
of bends. His head stays in the same place.
It was
mental.
just... What it was
Yeah, but
he
his head's higher than anything else.
benefited for a
He
career
gets
by
lower.
being
Got to use your body. Though.
distracting the defenders. That's how he got... by being, like,
What is
confused. What's going on? I'm freaking out.
Is there a corner flag in the middle of the pitch?
No, I'm doing him a disservice. I did like him, but he was nowhere near good.
Lovely
I was
fella.
Grateful. Yeah, he's sound. I'd love to interview him. Absolutely love to. I hope he never sees this.
Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're not going to do that interview if we get that interview. I'm bloody doing it.
What?
All right. Those are the days. Fraser Wilson, Tal Ben-Aim at Chelsea.
Wow.
That was one of Mourinho's signings. That was one of my things about Mourinho when we signed him. People was like, he never makes a bad signing. I'm like, oh, he does.
Yeah.
Asia Del Horno was another of his. Steve Sidwell was another of his.
I don't remember Del Horno. Right? I don't remember him at all, and I've had 2 conversations about him this week.
Really?
I've never heard of him before then. That's the second time. It's like Del Horno. He's come back to Warnock.
Beltanim.
Yeah.
What? Belarus.
Yeah, Belarus.
Belarus, yeah. Number 9, wasn't he?
Noruddin
Be
Naybet.
careful with that, because that's a trivia question that goes around a lot.
What?
He was
Centre
number 9,
half.
Belarus.
What number was Dempsey?
Clint Dempsey, 2.
No, 2.
Yeah, weird.
Shouldn't be allowed.
Schneiderlin's a 2. It looks...
Yeah.
It's wrong. Yeah,
It's all wrong.
Bentley, he said football before VAR. Those were the days, Andrew.
Where you at with that?
It ruined rugby league.
Really? So this is interesting because
Why did it ruin rugby league?
Because decisions that get given, 99 times out of 100, they're just given and now going to the screen to make sure. And you're like, if there was no screen here, you're just giving it. Why are you pulling it back now for 3 passes ago to see if someone was whatever? Like,
But my worry about it is that it's going to take that explosion of emotion away because you're not sure 100% whether it's goal, if it's going to go VAR. Did that happen at all, or is that not a problem? Do you know what I mean?
there's an element of that, yeah, because when it's scored, it's now...
Yeah,
look at the
I'm
screen.
going to go mentally and hug my family.
Yeah.
I'm going to look at some dickhead looking
English
at...
family.
Yeah. Didn't mean you though. I'm looking for some refs to start going like this and that, and then you're like, well, I'm not going to celebrate now, and then it gives it, and you're like, Oi.
Yeah, you just go... It's just such a half-assed...
Yeah.
Hey.
Like I go to the football for that explosion of emotion.
Yeah.
That's the only
I don't
reason.
think anyone's ever gone 7 rows forward and across the aisle on the back of a video decision.
Yeah.
Please tweet me if that's ever happened to you, because that's amazing if you ever have.
I think I might be
living
able,
life,
be
aren't
able
you?
to do that against Arsenal, but more or less I get what you're saying for sure. It's
Like
that moment.
Michael
the ball hits
Owen's
there,
winner
bam!
against City in the 96th minute, right? If that goes to the screen to see if Owen's onside or not,
Yeah, that's devo.
Yeah,
you're just going to be a...
Well, this is the worry.
And final one is I haven't got it written down here, but I saw it. I thought it was good. Brandon, his name is, wrote in the comments and said golden goals. Golden
No,
goals.
they were bad. It was a bad.
Do you not
idea.
enjoy golden
Terrible.
Yeah, I did.
It was silver.
Euro
goals as
96
well.
was the one I can really remember. Didn't it get 1 on a golden?
Yeah, Oliver Bierhoff.
Yes.
And oh god, what was the goal?
But that's an explosion of emotion. Imagine that. You've won the
See,
game.
that's
with
it,
a goal.
yeah, it's mega.
Yeah.
See that? Yeah, that's the good side of it.
There was a silver goal as well.
There was a silver goal.
That went to half-time then, didn't it?
Yeah.
Or did it go to the end of the half?
I don't know.
So
It
if
went
you
to the
scored
end of the
one,
half.
so if you scored one in the second half,
might be wrong.
it was a waste of fucking time.
Yeah,
basically.
but I didn't mind golden goals. I kind of.
Yeah, I like
thought it was
golden
alright.
goals.
I think people just give up when it gets extra time now.
What about a pass-back rule?
That was a great one. Great
yeah,
on a
smart
bit.
move. Game's got better because of it.
Yeah, much better.
There's not many rules that have come in that have been as successful as the pass-back rule. Because when you watch football from the 70s and the 80s now, and you see them literally just centre-half to keeper, centre-half to keeper,
terrible. Yeah.
and you just want to scream at the telly.
Yeah, for sure.
The game's such a quicker pace because of it.
Very true. Right, just quickly want to touch on this. FA Cup weekend, Cardiff playing Man City. More importantly, Neil Warnock clashing heads with Pep Guardiola.
2 peas in a pod, aren't they, really?
So, similar philosophies in the game. Cardiff doing well, actually. 3rd in the Championship, with a squad that is not... you didn't expect to be anywhere
They're going to
near
get beat 7-0.
Warnock absolutely loves the Championship. Like he loves it. He doesn't want to come up. Like he should knock it on the head now. Knock it on the head. You get teams up. That's your job. You get it up, resign, right, and then go and find another club in the Championship that needs taken up because he'll do that all day.
He got QPR into the Premier League.
Don't you think you should get him back? Like Ben Holloway, get Neil Warnock back.
But Holloway's press conferences are Box office.
What?
With Warnock? Well,
No, Holloway.
Holloway.
Box office.
He's far more than that, Stephen. But yes,
He's obsessed.
he is
with
great in the press conference as well. Warnock was a bit like Redknapp. You're kind of just you're saying whatever you need to say. You're not actually saying anything genuine. That's what you kind of do get with Holloway. But Warnock, that's what I kind of wanted to bring up, is because you could see what Warnock was doing as a football manager. And it looked kind of easy. He didn't it's just proper simple English. No, it's just proper English football, and he'd kind of organised to an extent. No real clever tactics. Get the best players of ball, see if they could do something. Oh, we probably need a big bloke. Yeah, let's get a big bloke. So let's get him up front.
Yeah.
He did that with the year we went up. We had a really steady team, and we had a Delta Apt in the middle, and he'd just give him the ball, and it was all really basic stuff. So I'm intrigued to see he's doing really well in the league, but against Guardiola, it would be interesting if those English old school ways can do anything at all.
That English kick rush game can work against the tiki-taka. It really can. But I think you've got to be able to do it at both ends, and a championship team's not going to be able to live with that.
They did lose to us. so if Man City, if they beat Man City, what does that say, Flav?
That's all Liverpool did.
Man City.
The old-fashioned 80s style kick rush. High press, get it down behind the fullbacks, and try and get as many shots on goal as possible. And
it's basic, but it works.
Yeah.
To a certain extent. What would you take Warnock and Crouch now as a duo like that, and Holloway's gone?
I don't like Warnock.
So, but what, that's not like a question.
So what?
Would you take Crouch and Warnock if they came as a duo?
What Holloway's got to go?
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Let's move on.
I bet Warnock would be mint on the piss.
Don't want
Can you imagine
to
the
be
stories
better?
he's got
What
on
do
the
you mean don't want
piss?
to be better?
Warnock.
Warnock. Oh my god.
I've got he's a naughty boy.
Well, let's not.
No, I'm saying
now.
Right. Anyway. Soldiers lost in battle.
Right. Hey.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
No wet ones here now, surely.
No.
They better be
I remember your
proper.
one last time.
That's alright.
Yeah, yours
This
is
is okay.
We clip that up and put it on Facebook, rather.
Yeah, if you haven't, Stephen Howson did his Soldiers Lost in Battle story last
The
time.
opposite of us.
And it was, it
Soldiers-
was the opposite, but it was an incredible story. So go check out that
It
episode.
literally
of
couldn't be
Logbook.
further from a soldier lost in battle.
Shall I just dive straight in? You know what Soldiers
Do
Lost
it.
in Battle is. Right. Okay. Radiel 2. World Cup 1998. I was 8 years old. England were playing Argentina in the quarterfinals. I remember the hype ahead of the match. Youngsters are impressionable and TV is sensational. It was ridiculously excited. I was ridiculously
Fantasy
excited.
Football League was on. It was mint.
Not in the... Come on. as if I was playing, lacing my boots and going to do battle with our perennial footballing enemy, Argentina. I was amped up all day, impatient for the game to begin. School ended. It was finally over. Now I could finally get home and watch the game. But my mum was late. Where could she be? My impatience was vivid and immediate. I patrolled the schoolyard. Where could she be? The more I walked, the more irritated I became. It had to have been 20 minutes by now. Where could she be? Where the hell was she? Then all of a sudden, I bumped into a couple of the kids from year 6. They were in the football team and had just got back from training. One of them knew me a little. The other said something to me. Wrapped up in my own little world, I took notice. Wham! The second kid hit me in the face with his boot bag. 12 studs to the face out of nowhere. A scrap ensued. By the time my mum arrived, we'd been separated by teachers. In the car ride home, my mum questioned me and basically I ended up blaming her. If only she'd been on time. Where could she have been? What excuse could she have? That night I was sent to bed at 7 p.m. No food, no football, no 2-2 draw, no penalty shootout, no Beckham kicking out and getting sent off. Nothing. That day I lost my faith in football. Luckily I'm a United fan and the year after we won the treble, so I found it again.
Very good.
Right, hang on.
Where had his mum been?
I mean, let's not dive
I mean,
into
that's
that
half
too
a
much.
story.
Yeah.
You need to finish up.
TC23.
Tom Cleverly watches. How you doing, son?
Well, hang on. In 2012, I was watching Manchester United versus Newcastle United. I fell asleep at half time because my missus was snoring all night the night before when I woke up. When I woke up, I was spammed with text messages about my cousin, Tom Cleverly, scoring a worldie, which I missed because I was asleep. And as you know, Cleverly isn't the best player in the world, so to see him miss a wicked goal live was heartbreaking.
How bizarre is that? That's proper weird.
It's obviously him that's wrote in.
And and finally, Chris Samba. Not the Chris Samba.
Well, it was about 100 grand.
It was 2005. I was 10 years old. My granddad, his mates, and myself were invited to take a limo to Cardiff for the playoff final to watch the mighty West Ham face Preston. Halfway through our journey, we heard a loud bang from outside the limo. The bloody wheel had fallen off on the M4 just outside Reading. I was going to miss the most important game of my life as a West Ham fan.
He's going to it in a limo though.
Yeah,
you do deserve it.
But wait, this isn't a sad story. A minivan full of other fans came to our rescue and got us to Cardiff just in time for the final. And we won. What a day. I went from a soldier lost in battle to a fan witnessing a Bobby Zamora-shaped hero firing West Ham back to the big time.
Oh, that's quite nice. Go bring it round.
Yeah, bring it round.
Shame
Don't be too
West Ham
depressing. So that was Soldiers Lost in Battle. Thank you very much. If you've got a Soldiers Lost in Battle story, then get it in the comments and we will read it out sooner or later if it's good enough. Some haven't been good enough, Flav.
No, they haven't. But last couple of weeks have been amazing. That one, I'm still quite not over that one with the bloke's bird went out and basically cheated on him. He was worried sick. Spent all night looking for her. Was so tired the next day that he missed the Arsenal FA Cup Arsenal game.
Difficult to watch.
There you go.
Yeah.
The lesson in that is never miss the match.
Final talking point of the podcast:
Bitches
Newcastle, Chelsea versus Newcastle this weekend. I wanted to just focus on Newcastle for a second because what I find mad about the situation they're in right now is it's such a big season for them, huge season for Newcastle United. They need to. I know a lot of people go, oh, they go down, they go back up. Maybe, but there's more and more money in the Championship, and it seems like Newcastle don't want to spend any money. Well, they obviously don't because Ashley wants to go. Mm-hmm. So what I find incredible is that the stories come out recently that they're trying to renew Rafa Benitez's contract now in January, when one, they should be getting the club sold when they've said it's going to be sold, and two, Rafa Benitez has been quite clear that
he needs money.
He needs money. So they've signed Kennedy this week, attacking left back. I'm not sure if that's the kind of player they need, but anyway.
But from Chelsea?
From Chelsea. Good player's a good player, I guess. And it looks like they're linked with Slimani as well. 20 million.
It's not enough. It's not the right kind of player. Not a lot, too much money, but not the right kind of player. I wonder though that the reason of course they want the jewel in Newcastle's crown is Rafa Benitez. He's a level above almost any manager that they can get. So it must be massively important for whatever takeover bids come through that Rafa Benitez remains manager. Well,
that's what I think. The fact that it seems so poorly timed, that has to be a massive part of this story.
Like it's aligned in the deal.
Yeah. I think it is.
It's the only excuse you can have, really, because you're like, the deal needs to happen. Is it going to go through before the end of the month? Doesn't look like it, does it?
But even if it goes to the wire, that means they haven't got the money to. And I wonder if any of these little buys, but 20 million is a lot for someone like Slimani who hasn't really done it in the Prem. But any deals that they do now would almost be to get a deal over the line. I would imagine, because why would Mike Ashley spend money? Why can't
the two parties they agree a takeover in principle if the valuations meet and they're correct, and they say, all right, well, they agree in principle. Here's a transfer budget you can give. That would Rafa Benitez then signs the contract, so that's all set in place, and then they just work out the terms towards the end of the season. Or is it
if it collapses, buying it, you've put 40 million into it, and then you've got no way of getting that back unless you draw a side contract for that. Like if it collapses, you have to reimburse me for that. I don't know. I'm not about a football club, so I don't know.
Yeah, I think. Do you see him going down to Newcastle? They're at risk, aren't they?
I think there's a few teams at risk in there. It must be so frustrating. The Geordie fans just absolutely pulling their hair out with. You think of some of the players they've moved on. From Kabay onwards, they've had some absolutely belting players that have done well for them, and you think they don't ever seem to have any sort of faith in their own academy, and they should have the absolute draw of everybody around them, shouldn't they? They should have such a strong academy coming through where. If you look at what Benfica have done recently, Benfica have brought through and sold on so many players. They're making hundreds of millions a season doing it. You think, why isn't this a model for more teams like Newcastle? Massive fan base, bring through some of your own. It's like saying 20 million on an average Premier League player that's probably not going to do shit for you. Put 20 million into your academy, and in 5 years, what are you producing? Especially if you're producing English talent, because now there's a 20 million tax on top of them just for being English. You're thinking, you're absolutely churning money. Chelsea will probably buy him at a minute. Tom Cleverley's probably getting a move to Chelsea in a couple of weeks, the way it's going.
Yeah.
They've been linked to some absolute garbage players recently, haven't they?
Yeah.
I think Rafa Benitez is in a strong position though, because and I think it'll be Ashley, who doesn't deserve to get any kind of goodwill shown towards him in terms of Benitez, because I don't think he's got what he's wanted really. But Benitez still got 18 months left on his deal. So again, that again shows that any takeover that's coming,
it's not like he's
it's based around
season,
him. It has to be based around him.
But if they can get the deal over the line in 6 months' time, then you've got your opportunity to come in and convince Rafa Benitez to stay. And if
but the problem is a championship club is you slash that amount of money in not in half, but by a huge amount if they go down. And I'm not going to. Why would anyone give that kind of money? I know I haven't bought a club either, but you're not going to give that money for a championship club because it means you're 2 seasons behind. Where you want to be as a starting point to then move on from there. So I think the biggest mistake out of this entire thing is Ashley coming out and saying last year we're selling, it'll be done by Christmas. That was just so stupid.
Well, he's never. I mean, I can't prevent. He's obviously a very intelligent businessman. He's done very well, but he seems to. When he comes across as a joke in football, he clearly isn't. He knows what he's doing.
Does he though?
Well, I mean,
being a successful businessman doesn't mean that you know how to run a football club.
Yeah, but he knows enough to get them back into the Premier League, and even that's a difficult feat. But my point is that he's in a difficult situation now. The club's in a difficult situation. The player, whatever he's done, the fans absolutely loathe him.
Do you reckon he can go for a brew in Newcastle City Centre?
No, can he fuck?
Can you even imagine?
I imagine, yeah. So yeah, a bit of a mess there. I think Slimani might help a little bit, but I don't. Is he much better than Mitrovic?
You need goals. You got to get goals. That's every team at the bottom. You just got to buy goals, and that's why. Somewhat like even a 12 goals is going to keep you up. 12 goals, you can buy 12 goals, and I don't see enough people trying to. I don't know, or they're just not bringing in enough. I don't know. It's mad. Yeah. A lot of people scouting is just like. It's like the manager's situation, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just
there's just like you go back in a drawer as a manager and then you get pulled out again. Like Pardew and all these lot they're all in the same jobs. Yeah. It's almost like Crystal Palace. You're like you've had 9 of the same managers that like after leagues.
All these managers have a duty to just retire now. Yeah. Do it for the fans.
Especially Hodgson. Hodgson started managing in the 70s. 70s.
Did was it
74
Sweden?
Or something like that.
No, Inter Milan.
I've told you this.
He's been at Inter Milan.
He
was probably revolutionary in 40 years ago.
Roy Hodgson, his first manager's job, he managed my dad for London Schoolboys B team.
How old was he?
And that's where he should have fucking stayed.
My dad was 63, 64.
So was he?
He's been managing 40 years. I'm sure he's... Google it, put me in the comments. I'm sure it was definitely the 70s.
Oh yeah. That was... I think that might have been 73 or something like that. It's incredible. So let us know your thoughts on Newcastle, on Sanchez, on everything we've been talking about. Get your Soldiers Lost in Battle stories in, and those were the days options in as well. Most importantly, get involved in the Fan League game, the Fan League app. Link is in the description. One for the Weekend League is there for you to enjoy. Come and get involved. We need the help. We do, don't we?
Absolutely.
We're slowly moving up. Come and join the revolution. Stephen, thank you, mate. Where can people find you? I think they probably know, but tell them again.
Stephen Howson FC or Full Time Devils. Come and get me on Stephen Howson FC. I'm a ball air away from 50k on my personal channel, so come and push me over the line.
Nice.
I've got some really good stuff coming soon. I'm filming. United have allowed me to do it, which I'm amazed at. I'm filming a documentary on Munich with my granddad, and they've given me access to Old Trafford to do it. So that's going to be banging.
It's a good reason to subscribe.
Yeah. So go and subscribe for that. There's other documentaries and stuff on there that I'm doing. So for check out.
Nice one. Subscribe to the Long Ball Street channel and go check us out on iTunes and subscribe as well. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Download the app and join today.